Hello. Using Jay's iPhone, so I'm getting used to different buttons now because I was using an Android for the last month or so. Hi, everybody. This is Andy. For anyone who doesn't know who I am, probably since, lose track of months, but I want to say since September of last year, I was volunteering every day here after work. I have a full-time job, so I would work my shift, finish my shift at 4 o'clock, and me and my wife live about 12 minutes away from here, so we would just pop up over the hill, or I would pop up over the hill. She comes sometimes, so, I would come over and handle the evening chores, waters, hays, baby bottles, that kind of stuff. So, I want to explain, and I know I don't need to explain it, but I want, you guys to, it meant a lot, the comments about checking in to see where I was, that I was okay, that Tanya was okay. So I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to hear from me as to why I stepped back for a little bit. Truthfully, I had a mental breakdown. The last 2 years has been incredibly trying on me and my family, and I'll explain all of those things just to give you some perspective as to why I was in the mindset I was and why I acted the way I did and why everything happened. So rewind January of 2023, January 7th to be exact, I get a phone call from my dad, and my dad says, "When's the last time you talked to your brother?" I had an older brother. I have a younger sister too. But January 7th of 2023, my brother took his own life. And I had never expected that. I had never thought that would happen. He was always the happiest person. He always seemed happy. He was always having fun with friends. He was always doing stuff. Snowmobiling. I should probably not go in the barn here so people don't yell. He was always doing stuff. It was kind of, if anyone knows the actor Robin Williams, it was the Robin Williams effect. No one would have expected Robin Williams to be depressed and to have taken his own life. So same with my brother Scott. I did not ever anticipate that being an issue. I mean, I knew he was struggling with certain things, but that was not something that was ever on my radar. So that happened in January, and I had some opportunity to grieve, but I immediately rolled into that late that summer, my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer. So then it was months of waiting and months of tests and different appointments and figuring out options. And, she's 43 when she was diagnosed, like super young for breast cancer. It didn't run in the family. It was just a complete shock for everybody. And, my priority in life is always to make sure my wife is healthy, happy, and she has what she needs. So that hit me really hard. So, and I don't think I really truly had the opportunity to grieve my brother's loss. It was ultimately, I had a couple months to grieve it and try to figure out the new normal. And then it was caretaking for my wife. And caretaking is an incredibly challenging challenging thing. Like it's so, you hear about people saying like, you have to be okay, you have to take care of yourself, so the person you're... I wander when I talk, so I wandered too far away from the Wi-Fi box. So I immediately, rolled into caretaking for her, and we got through the cancer surgery. She had a double mastectomy and an immediate reconstructive surgery, so 2 major surgeries in January of 2024. And that all worked itself out. We got through those issues, and we got into where she could finally get back to normal activities. There was a couple setbacks, but generally things were good there. But later that fall, she started having severe balance problems, what seemed like neurological problems that started probably late July, early August of 24. And they became so frequent that it was a daily occurrence, almost daily occurrence. Sometimes it definitely was daily. There was multiple hospitalizations. There was an ER trip or an ambulance trip to the ER. There was an overnight stay in the hospital. And that's when I really started feeling like I was in a hole. I was just feeling like life was out to get me, that nothing was going right. Every turn, everything went wrong. Every time I tried to do something went wrong. And I didn't fully accept to myself that I was depressed. As much as and that's kind of, I think, part of what played into my feelings is when my brother killed himself, it became a really important mission for me to talk about mental health and the importance of breaking stigmas. Men are taught from a young age to suck it up and be a man. Don't let your feelings out. Men don't cry. And I think that's a lot of why Scott did what he did, is he didn't feel comfortable talking about his feelings to other people, and he just held it all in until he could no longer hold it in. And he took, unfortunately, the wrong way with it. I lived very close to him. I could have easily gone over to help him. I could have gone over to talk to him, and I regret not spending more time with him, or picking up on the signs. There was probably signs that I could have picked up on, and I have a lot of regrets from that. The problem is I had been building a car, a race car, show car that started before my brother died. But after he died, it was about half built, and I wanted to use that car as kind of a tribute to him. I had some personal tributes in the car, a custom plaque that I had made. And then that kind of morphed into I want to do a decal on the outside for suicide prevention awareness to try to really start talking about these things with other people. And the whole time I'm doing these things, I'm holding my own feelings in. I'm not talking about how I'm feeling. I'm not talking about what I'm going through. And I felt like a hypocrite. So, that weighed on me a lot. Tanya's health issues weighed on me a lot. It started affecting my work. It started affecting my desire to do more at my job. And it started making me really, get anxious about any kind of issues with my job, which then became financial stresses. It was just one thing after the next. And volunteering at the farm was phenomenal. It has always been a blessing. It has always been a happy place. And I always wanted to help Jay and help Lauren and help the animals. And the more I got involved, the more I got attached to the animals, and my unprocessed trauma of losing my brother and all the stuff I've been going through, each time I experienced a death on the farm, it just sent me into a spiral. So ultimately, The PA Farm Show week was a really trying week for me because there was a lot of tough things that had to be done, because, you know, there's babies that were very sick and they needed special attention. And I wanted to be able to still keep helping, and I wasn't strong enough to admit or even have a conversation with Jay and Lauren that, hey, I'm not, this is too much. I don't think I can keep doing this. So that's on me for again, holding in things, and just, that's been kind of what I've always done, is just hold it in until I can't, and then you end up blowing up from it. So ultimately, the PA Farm Show week was very tough, and then the week that Chuck went to Texas, it was sub-zero temperatures here. Frigid, everything was freezing, all the waters were freezing. Sam got really sick, and Sam died the first day. It was just, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. So, you know, I was in a real bad headspace. I felt like my brain was just pumping, like just bumping. It felt like my brain was trying to squeeze outside my skull. It was such a tough situation to be in, and I lost my cool. I lost my emotions. I said some hurtful things that I will regret for the rest of my life. And, you know, I had a breakdown. And I spent the entire next week in bed. I didn't leave my bed for a couple, you know, I'd leave my bed to eat. Tanya would have to convince me to shower. You know, I tried to lose myself in movies to get my mind off of things. I talked to family and some close friends, and I have to give a huge thank you to my wife Tanya, to my dad, to my sister, especially to Jay and Lauren, because I said some hurtful things that I don't know if they forgive me, but they put it behind them, and they continued to reach out to me to see if I was okay, to offer, you know, a peace offering to have me come back, because they knew this was a happy place for me. And, you know, maybe I don't need to do as much as I had been doing, because, you know, I enjoy making videos. I enjoy spending time with the animals. I enjoy, you know, everything about this place and the people here. So it just, ultimately, it comes down to, I had years of unprocessed trauma. I had years of avoiding it, and I was selfishly using the farm as therapy. And it was very therapeutic until I started doing too much that I wasn't strong enough to admit that I wasn't capable of continuing to do without putting myself in a bad headspace. So, you know, the farm is back to being a happy place for me. I am thrilled to be able to be coming back here. I acted extremely immature in terms of, you know, I went through and I deleted all the reels I had ever made. And Facebook, unfortunately, doesn't have them in the trash, which is stupid. I wish I could restore them. My Google Photos doesn't have all of them backed up, so I only was able to save about 25% of them. But I'm thinking I'm going to start fresh with a fresh mind and just make fresh new stuff going forward instead of resharing old reels. But, you know, that's kind of the long and short of it is, you know, and to give you guys a little more perspective, it finally got me to admit that I wasn't okay. It's never been suicidal. I don't want you guys to think anything like that. It's never been a suicidal thing. I do have a wonderful life. I love my wife. I love my cat. I love our little family that we built. I love my family. I love this farm. I love Jay and Lauren. You know, Jeff too. So it's important to me to keep these relationships going. And, you know, dogs are ruining this. So it was never a suicidal thing. It was more just, I just didn't want to keep feeling like this. I didn't want to keep feeling depressed and feeling like I was in pain and feeling like everything sucks and nothing ever goes right. So I got myself into therapy, and I am very impressed by the VA. I'm part of the VA insurance because my wife was a veteran. I do have a little bit of, I don't know what they call it, but when people fake being a soldier to get clout or whatever, like I feel a little guilty using my VA insurance because I didn't serve, but that's the insurance that I have. So, I had an appointment Wednesday morning to go see my primary care physician to try to get referred to therapy, and he immediately got me talking to a therapist that same morning. So, and I have a very good outlook on where things are going to go. I have a lot of hope for what therapy is going to be able to provide me in terms of skills to handle my emotions and cope with the ups and downs of life. I'm hoping there's going to be more ups, but life has a way of twisting things and just adding to it, because on the way home from therapy, I decided I was going to go to V&S, which is a local sub shop, and I said, you know what, I'm going to get myself an Italian sandwich. I don't really ever get to go to V&S anymore. And I usually just grab a sandwich and go home to eat it. But I decided I'm going to sit down and eat. I'm going to relax and I'm going to sit down and eat. So I park, I get my sandwich, I take one bite of it. Somebody comes inside and says, hey, are you in the BMW that's outside? I just backed into it and destroyed your whole rear end. So, I was feeling good. Fresh off of therapy, somebody destroys the back of my vehicle. So now that's in the body shop, and I'm driving a rental car, and then I got a rental car that has a nail in the tire, so it has a leaking front tire that I have to get taken care of. But those are little things that I can get over. But it's just, if I was still in a bad headspace, they'd be enough to send me into another spiral. Like, why can't something go right for once? But that's ultimately what happened. Is I had a breakdown. I am dealing with depression. I'm dealing with anxiety. I'm on medication for it. I'm dealing with going to therapy, which is going to be really important for me to stick through and follow through with. I have a good support system, so I have a decent amount of people who care about me and that I'm okay, and I am incredibly thankful for that. So, I do love coming here. I love the people. I love the animals. I love that you guys are so welcoming. So, that's kind of the whole story, pretty much. So, sorry I was not paying attention to comments. I have never been good at that. But if anybody has any questions, I'm not going to get into detail of the things that I said, so don't ask that. But if there's any questions, feel free to ask away. Also, anyone who sent stars, thank you guys so much. I was not good at seeing those. I did see somebody sent the cat face thing or bunny face thing, but I was in the middle of talking about something, so I didn't want to lose my train of thought. But, this kind of could be an opportunity to talk about, the things that I was talking about with the car livery with Scott. It's mental health is real. It's a serious thing. The mind can do wonderful things, but it can also play very cruel tricks on you. So talking to people, opening up, being vulnerable, it's all really important. And I think a lot of why this took as long as it did is I wasn't able to admit to myself that I wasn't okay. And on some level, I'm thankful that I did break, because I needed to get help. And if I had lost my job or something else, I don't know. I mean, it's just, thankfully Lauren and Jay are such amazing people that despite me taking it out on them, they welcomed me back with open arms. And if it was like I lost my job first, I don't know if that would have been something that could have helped me. I wouldn't have found a job that quick to be able to pay the bills. So, it's I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. So I feel like the reason is this gave me the opportunity to find help and to start healing and try to be a better person from it. So thank you guys for listening and hearing me out, and for all the concerns. It meant a lot to me and my wife to have so many people be concerned and, just make sure that we're okay. You guys have always been a very caring group, especially with when my wife was dealing with health issues. There was tons of people suggesting things and offering prayers, and it just means a lot. So thank you guys so much. Somebody asked what kind of job I have. I have a job in IT. So I build processes and query data and build flows for, some of the end users in my company to do what they have to do on a day-to-day basis. Automated text, automated emails, all that kind of stuff. So, that's pretty much what I do on a daily basis. I do get to work from home, but I am considering, after all this, going into kind of a hybrid type of schedule where I would work in the office a couple days a week. I had to work in the office one day this week because we had an internet outage at home. There was I don't know if a server fire or something, but that forced me to go into the office, and it was actually a really productive day for me. So I'm thinking maybe a change of scenery might be good for me to take at least the work part of the equation, or the work part out of the equation, where I start feeling like I'm doing what I need to do. I'm earning my keep for my job, and if I can take that off the table, that'll help. I know coming back to the farm really helped. I text Jay Monday night, I want to say it was, that I hadn't felt this good in a week. It's good for me. I enjoy the physical labor aspect of it because I sit at a desk all day. So coming here has been really good for me to do lifting and move stuff around, get blood pumping through the body, that kind of stuff. So I did get leave. My boss has been a really, really huge help for me. He's a good friend of mine too, so he has been really lenient in offering help and offering to take projects off my plate, that kind of stuff. So I can't thank him enough as well. He sent me resources that we have available within Penske if the VA was going to take too long to get me into therapy. I do have some insurance through my company, but for the most part, it was just support, just knowing he was there to help. So that's another thing. I know I know a lot of people here are religious. I've never been a big religious person, but my sister and my soon-to-be brother-in-law are very big into their religion. That's something that I'm going to start trying to get back into. I feel like I don't have a good relationship with God, so I'm going to be going to church with my sister on Sunday and see where it goes. I don't think I've been to church in probably 20 years. Apollo's waiting for his walk. I do know it's a goat farm, but I think the animals I miss the most were the dogs. It's really hard to not love all these dogs. Do you think I have muffins? I told Tanya about the muffins. She's excited to feed you. Tanya's goal is to feed the sheep. And since sheep shearing's coming up, she doesn't want to, even though I told Jay that Tanya's signing up for sheep shearing because she wants she wants sheep whenever we have a little farm, little farmette or whatever we end up getting. It's going to be years till that happens, but she likes baby doll sheep, which is like a little sheep. So I told her we're not doing it unless you're shearing, because I don't feel like shearing sheep. So that's pretty much all I was going to say. I just wanted to give you guys a background on what I'm going through and why I had to step back, just to give myself an opportunity to heal and get better and be better from it. So the animals are back to be in therapy, which is huge. I really love coming here, and it's a good lift of the spirits to be able to just see all these animals who just unconditionally love you. Not all of them. Some of them are mean, like this guy. Never seen him be lovey. But Dazzle is becoming a favorite of mine. She's got a really fluffy coat. And she's licking on me. So thank you guys for tuning in and hearing me out, and all the well wishes and prayers. I really truly appreciate it. Tanya appreciates it as well. And now that I'm working on healing, I'm starting to feel better this week. I know the meds will take a couple more weeks to really start working, but just the support and the outreach has been a really big help in getting me out of this and getting me on the right track. So I'm going to keep working on it, keep working on myself, and try to keep being better from it. So thank you guys for tuning in and hearing me out, and for everything. So love you guys. Take care, and I will catch you guys on the next one.
Join the show just after 7. Watch us in our animal heaven. Wake up with goats and chicks. Come feed the cows all their grain mix. Join the show just after 7. Take a head count, 9, 10, 11. With the crew, come take a pic. Just watch for the cows, 'cause they might kick.